Okay, in today's episode, we're going to look at views. Simply put, views are a list of records. So let's go ahead and take a look. Using the navigation, we can go ahead and click on accounts. So we're going to go to sales, accounts, and this can be applicable to a number of different areas. And here I see a list of records. And so this list of records is being controlled by the view. So this is a view selector. So I can change it to active accounts, and that's going to show me a different view that has different records in there. I can also change it to show me accounts being followed, and you'll notice here that the columns have changed. So again, these views can all change both the query as well as the column, so what's being shown. So I'm going to go ahead and change that back to my active accounts for now. So the next thing we're going to do is talk about this search. So this searches for records in this table. So it's not just in the view, and that can trip up a lot of people, is that this is using the actual quick find view in the background that you can search across a number of different columns and such, but it is searching across the whole table, not just this one view. So if I look for Alpine, which you currently don't see in this list, but if I search for that, it's going to bring it back. Again, things to be mindful of. We talked about on episode 2 the ability to do global search. This global search leverages the same search functionality as down here when it comes to the different columns that it's searching for, but up top here in this global search, what it does is it searches across multiple tables, whereas this search right here just searches in this one table. So things to be mindful of. There can be occasions when to use this, but often we encourage people to search across up here if they don't know it's a business that they're looking for. Maybe it's a lead or maybe it's an opportunity. You would use the global option set, but definitely an option to use the search on the right-hand side. So as we navigate around here on the right-hand side, just showing you other areas, we do have a chart that we can base on this view. So here we have the view, the records. And so here are how the records break down based on industry. I can also change it based on owner. But because this is my active accounts, it's just going to have my one individual here. So if we change that from my active accounts, change the view to all accounts, that's going to show us the breakdown of all these records based on their owner. And you can then go on to the other items here and see when the new accounts came in. They all came in the same month and so on. So let's go ahead and collapse that and continue around here to the bottom. And on the bottom, what we have the opportunity to do is do some filtering. So if I click on A here, what it's going to do is based on the name, the account name, it's going to filter that out. If I want to change it to another filter, I can do that. And so here we see a shorter list of records. And again, if I search up here and search for all records and look for Alpine, it's going to go across all of them. So again, even though I had clicked on the C initially, so when I looked at just the accounts that began with C, and then I searched for Alpine, you'll notice here again that it searched outside of that filter that had initially been there. You see these are the search results. And again, if there's many things that come back, you could then again use the filtering down here below. So we'll go ahead and remove that. Here again, we see a list of all the accounts. Great. So the other thing that we're just going to touch on here is the ability to create your own view. So let's go ahead and create our own view based on the city of Redmond and just bring back those accounts because those are the ones that I'm most interested in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the filter button. So right here we have a filter as well as a refresh. And so if I want to click the refresh, if something's changed, I can click the refresh. It's going to refresh this list without having to navigate away and coming back. Okay, so now that we're going to do Redmond. So let's go ahead and click on filter. What you'll notice here is there's a number of little arrows for each one of these. What I can do is click on this arrow to apply a filter. I can simply do contains data, does not contain data, or does a custom filter. So we're going to go ahead and do a custom filter. We're going to say it equals Redmond and click OK. And that's going to create just this filter. So again, this allows us to filter on a very specific area to bring back information there. What often happens now is that now I want to keep this information. So I don't want to have to redo this every time I go through this. So what we can do is create our own personal view. So let's go ahead and come up here to the view selector, go down and save filter as new view. So we can either do a new one and that's going to start us from scratch, or we can save the filter as a new view. So clicking on that allows us to say, okay, what do we want this to be called? So this is going to be all accounts in City of Redmond. And we can go ahead and click save. Now you see up here that the view name has been saved. And so what we can do is we can switch to these other ones, and you'll see that if I switch to all accounts, and then to get back to that view, up here we have system views, and down below we have my views. So if I click on all accounts in Redmond, again, we see that same information that we had saved earlier. So this is a great way to quickly build out a view that you then need to be able to use later. Often what happens is, now that I've used this view and I no longer need it, what we need to do is remove that. And in order to do that, it's a little trickier than creating it. So in order to do that, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go up here to Advanced Find. And now what we have the opportunity to do is see here on Advanced Find, and we'll have a whole episode on this, how to do Advanced Find. Check out the user group. They have some great video content out there already. And what we're going to do is go to Saved Views. And here I can see a list of my saved views. So from here, if I select one, I can assign this view to somebody else. I can share this view with somebody else. I can also email them a link to this view. So that way they can quickly see that same information that I'm seeing without having to send them the actual Excel file. And that can be very helpful. So in order to delete it, you can either deactivate it here, or you can actually delete the view and remove it. But we're going to actually save this view, and we're going to share it, and we're going to show you in a later episode how we can do some of these other things. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go back to our view. And the last thing we're going to cover is just the actions that we can take on records from a view. So I'm going to change this back to my active accounts. And what we can do is we can go here and select information. So if we select these records, we can select everything in this view that's being shown, or we can select individual ones. The other option we have, of course, is to select the first one and then holding Shift, select one down later on, and that will go ahead and select multiple ones for us. So some things that we're often used to when we're interacting with other lists. The last thing I want to show again is just the ability to select a record and then be able to take action on it. So again, this is the command bar up here. This command bar will let you take action on the record selected. So we can merge records together. We can get geocoding for them. We can deactivate the record. We can also add them to a marketing list. And don't forget that there is a lot of options in the more commands in the ellipses. So we can run workflows on them. We can export to Excel as well as do imports. So that's all things that we can do when records are selected. If you don't have any records selected, you notice that your options up here change. So this command bar changes. So here we can quickly export to Excel. We can use Excel's template, which we'll look at later, or run a report on these records. So a lot of different options when it comes to views that can be very powerful. Again, Advanced Find allows us to really dig into the options when it comes to ways to query the data, what information, what columns are coming back. And again, we'll show how to do that in a later episode. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that thumbs up and hit the subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else. We're looking forward to providing some more great content in the near future and look forward to connecting with you shortly. Have a great one.